Hello and welcome to another amazing Monday night of Unstoppable Overcomers. I am truly happy to have my amazing guest, Brenda Warren, on the show. Brenda is the Soulutionist. She has been known for years as the voice of the voiceless. Her willingness to speak out for the underheard was well known. As a retired United States Marine with over 20 years of active duty service, she is a strong advocate for veterans. Brenda is an author, YouTube podcast host, and sorry, I don't know why I have a hard time with that. Inspirational speaker, mental fitness coach, and serial entrepreneur. She has been founding successful businesses in the candy, fashion, sewing, financial, and relationship industries starting at the age of 9 years old. What an amazing story. Thank you so much, Brenda, for coming on. Since I've connected with you, it's just like I've met my other sister. And it's just a pleasure to have you on the show. So just tell us a little bit about your overcoming story.
Well, it depends on which one. Like you, I have many overcoming stories. So I guess we'll just start with the one that got me to doing this. About 18 months ago, I was on my couch. I was overweight and I was not in the greatest place mentally. I was battling depression and I had given up. And so I found myself on the crisis hotline and I talked to this amazing man who convinced me to get some sleep and get up the next day and find something to do. So I did. And that's where I came across the Be on TV challenge. I became the grand prize winner. The next thing I know, I had my own TV show, which launched me into my own YouTube show, which launched me into coaching and so many other amazing things that I'm amazed at the life I live right now. And I'm telling you, had you told me this would be my life, uh, 18 months ago, I told you you were on hallucinogenic drugs. I even wrote my own book, Soul Searching, Get On Board for Transformation using the tapping method. And now women all over the world are tapping into their best selves.
Wow. Tell us a little bit more about the tapping method.
Well, the tap in method is a 5 step strategic program designed to help people get past their stuck points. And I work with a lot of women over 40 that are pivoting in life. They're coming off of kids going to college, divorces, just life changes, career changes. They're trying to find themselves financially, spiritually, emotionally, professionally, personally, and sometimes you need just a little bit of help to help you make that next step. So that's where the tap in method comes in. People do a soul search, they discover their why, they learn to journal, and just to find that sweet spot that's going to help them live their life unapologetically unstoppable.
I love that. I just want to go to our listeners here. Thank you, Juanita, for joining us. And Melody, thank you. Melanie was on the show too, and she's been a Monday night fanatic ever since. So we welcome you, ladies. I love that. So it's funny because I think we all have a different way of saying things, but I love that, like the journaling and basically it's tapping into your intuition. Is that right?
Well,
Okay, that's what.
when you tap in with the it's a 5 letter acronym. I'm a prior Marine, so we use a lot of acronyms in the military. So that's why I came up with the tap it. The T stands for transformation. It's about your mindset, learning how to change the way you think and view things. And then there's the letter A. That stands for announcing and accountability. You're going to announce to the world what it is you plan to change, and then you're going to get some accountability in that area. That's why people hire you to be a coach. They make sure they get the accountability they need to make the change that they believe they can. And then P, that's prepare. That's where you prepare yourself mentally and physically and your environment so that you can get the breakthrough that you say you want to transform through to. And then it's the I. That's imagine. That's where you use your visualization process. And we teach you to imagine the life you want to live. Because, see, right now, I could have never imagined this life in the beginning, but then I began to sit down and think, what do I want my life to be like? See, we forget that we get to write the story we want to live. And I always tell women, if you're going to write the story, make it an epic adventure and one you truly want to enjoy, you know?
Exactly.
And then
Exactly.
It's for nurture. I want you to nurture all of that so that you can live unapologetically unstoppable and not live in the shadow of your past or be held hostage to your pain. So it's important that you nurture the new mindset and begin to realize that you have a choice on how you show up on this planet every day. Life's not a dress rehearsal. You either realize that this is one act show that you do it now or you don't get to do a do-over.
Absolutely. That is so funny that you said that, because I had made a post like, we only, time is of the essence, and that's something we can never get back. So, either you're going to step into the calling and the purpose on your life, or and not waste the time, or step into what you're supposed to be doing and go after it, because you only have one life to live, and it's very short. If this last 2 years, especially this last year, hasn't taught me anything, it's like, life is too short, so you may as well enjoy it doing the things that you love doing. And it's I'm blessed that I got to kick off one thing of my dad's bucket list while he was still here. I don't know why. Okay, so we're Canadians. He wanted to go see the White House. So I was going to Baltimore, Maryland, for a convention anyways. And I said, why don't you just come with me, Dad? He's always wondering why I'm going to. I was following Danny Johnson around, a motivational speaker around the United States. And I said, why don't you come and see what this is all about? So, and we got lost because, of course, his nickname is the wrong way. So we got lost trying to find the White House. So he gets there. You can't park anywhere near it. So we ended up parking at the veterans. There's a veterans memorial thing there. So you're technically not supposed to stop there, but I pulled over. I said, stand here. I'm going to take a picture of you right in front of it so we can say you were here, and then hop back in the vehicle before I get a parking ticket. So, I mean, life is all about choices and about our journeys. And I'm so glad that you said that. Damien says we all have choices and how we show up. Absolutely. Life is a gift each and every day.
Yeah. And the choices are important, because that's what I tell people. When I tell people to tap in, I also ask them to tap into the power of two. And the power of two means to tap into time, your words, and your opportunities. Time is something you don't get back. When it's gone, it's gone. Words, once released, cannot be recalled. And opportunities, when past, are just that. They're past. So if you tap into the power of two, while you're also tapping in, and you manage your time, you mind your words, and you stay open to all opportunities, you can have a pretty good life.
That you're like hitting my mailbox, because I was just like, lately I've been saying, keeping all my options open and saying yes to as much things as possible. Like, if something comes my way, as long, it's nothing illegal. Let's just nothing illegal or immoral. Those are my two standards. As long as Mom would still be proud of me at the end of the day. I've said yes to it. And it's funny because it opens doors of opportunity. And Wayne Dyer, I listened to his Audible, be open to everything and attached to nothing. I love that.
Wayne Dyer.
Yes, as soon as I heard that, it's like something leapt in my spirit, and I said, oh my gosh. So if I feel myself overwhelmed, open to everything and attached to nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I love his book, with Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. It's amazing. He has so many good books, and I listen to him quite often. And I think oftentimes we fail to listen to people like Wayne Dyer and just, a whole bunch of what I call the stages of the past and of the present, because success leaves clues. And while we're trying to overcome all the different things that are there, the truth is, if we would look at the people that surround us, Dean Graziano right now has a Facebook club where he's giving away so much information on how to live a productive life, how to start courses. There's just so many people. You have Bob Proctor still out there 80-some years later teaching the Think and Grow principles, But you have people like Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy, James Maxwell. These are people that have written books, left YouTube videos. The success team are all around us. We just have to take the time to go out and look for them. And that can be a part of our overcoming story. Because when I was sitting on the couch gaining weight, before I lost 67 pounds, feeling sorry for myself, I began to listen to those audiobooks. And
Right.
one day I got off the couch and I started walking in my driveway. I could barely make it around my car. Now I can do 10,000 steps right in my driveway. So I lost 67 pounds in the midst of a pandemic just walking around my car. What was that take? Me making a choice to get my butt off the couch.
Exactly. Exactly. I love that. Going back a little bit into your career, how did you find the transition from being in the Navy to civilian life?
Well,
How?
first off, I was in the Marine Corps, so
Oh,
we're going to
Marine
get that.
Corps. Sorry.
Yes, I am a
Marine Corps.
retired Marine gunnery sergeant, and the transition from 20 years in the Marine Corps to a civilian job as a director of a hospital was horrific. Because I was used to, telling people I tell somebody to jump, they ask me off what and how high. But you get in the civilian community, it doesn't work like that.
So, do your kids like the mom now, or the mom when she was a Marine?
Well, see, my kid doesn't know the difference because I didn't have my one and only child until after I was retired. So they only
Uh,
know mommy now. They didn't know me when I was in the Marine Corps.
Aha. Have you ever read Louise Hay? I
Yes,
have.
I have.
Yes.
Love
Actually,
Louis.
that's funny because I just finished her book, The Mirror Work, the 21-day
Mhm,
challenge. I just finished that. And I have another one of her books up there as well.
mhm.
Mad respect for you, Brenda. Her dad, Juanita's dad, was in the
Yeah.
Marines.
Mhm.
So maybe we should
Yeah.
salute
And
you.
for pie. Yeah. No, my kid doesn't know, and it's funny because it's like a whole nother life. When I had Alex, I was 38 years old. I'm 58 now, so Alex just turned 21, and I've been out of the military as long as I was in now, and it's so funny uh, because they have no knowledge of that, and that is the most non-disciplined little child you ever want to meet.
I can't imagine Alex get away with a lot of stuff with you though, because I know that you're pretty sharp.
Well, I'm a control freak. I would give you that, and I still have a lot of my military tendencies, even with all these years past. But Alex, being an only child to a mother that was told she could never have kids, is spoiled rotten.
Mhm.
It was
Emily, thanks for
totally an
joining us.
unexpected surprise.
Emily is ex Navy. Sorry,
Okay.
and Emily. So welcome, Emily. So that's funny. It's funny because a lot of my family was in the Canadian Armed Forces, and I have
Hmm.
my husband's nephew is an aviator technician
Hmm.
in the Canadian Armed Forces right now, and my uncle that passed away when I was on my missions trip. He was in the Canadian Armed Forces. He was retired though. He was living in Taiwan, but it's funny that and then now I'm connecting with all these amazing military people that it's just like I like. Okay, so I can't even watch those commercials at Christmas time
Hmm.
where, all the Marines come home or the military come home and they're seeing their loved ones for the first time. Like, I just want to sit there and cry because I'm just like, I can't handle it. It's like a Hallmark movie all by itself. Oh, that is funny. All right. So you are yourself are an author. I
Hmm.
see the book in the back, The Solutionist. I tried to get it, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, I could not get it in time for the show.
Okay.
But I will keep looking. And so, tell us a little bit about what your book. Tell us a little bit about your book.
My book is called Soul Searching. Get on board for transformation using the tap-in method. And what the book is, it's a story. And I use a trip to grandmother's house to get you through the process. And most people seem to like that. And you can find my book on Amazon if you go to my IG account, Brenda the Solutionist, and click on the link inside my bio. It'll take you right to all the stuff that I do. My book, my YouTube channel, everything. It's all right there. But the book itself is a way for people to do a deep dive inside and figure out what it is they really want. Because most of us talk about what we want, But I always tell people you got to start with the why. Why do you want it? Why do you want to be an interviewer, a podcaster? Why do you want to have your own business? If you don't know your why, when it gets hard, you bail. So if you know your why, that's your foundation and it helps keep you going. And that's what we talk about in the book. And we teach you the different areas that you can tap into, finances, spirituality, wellness, fitness, transitioning from military to civilian life, being an entrepreneur, changing careers. One of my favorite topics, relationships. It's all there in the book. And in the very back, there's a whole section just dedicated to veterans because I am a veteran.
That is amazing. And I love the fact that you give to other veterans and, well, to everybody, really. This woman is amazing. She gives to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Carla. Welcome. See, she cries every time, too. It's not
Uh,
just me. Hallmark movies during the holiday season.
there's nothing better. I'm a Hallmark movie junkie. I have my shirt and my blanket. I get my tea, sit there. I veg out on Hallmark movies.
Wow. The why will keep you afloat during the tough times for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I believe, your why has to totally be bigger than you are.
Yeah.
And at times my why was my family, but then I'm just like, and then you still, that's back when I had the fear stage and I let it, not, why can't I speak tonight? Per, Paralysis, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, because you have to paralysis now. Yes,
Yeah.
and it's just like it's like you overthink everything, and that's why I kind of had to change my why. Yes, I love my family, and I really want to provide for my family. Like, you have no idea the dreams in that, but I have had to change it to outside of my family too.
Mm-hmm.
Because helping other people to me is what it's all about, and to my, like, I have a big goal. 1 million people reached of getting over their
Mm-hmm.
fears. Like, that's not a little goal. So um so yeah, you got to
My
keep
mama
your
keeps
way.
me going because when I was at my lowest and I almost became another unnecessary silence, I learned of a 14-year-old that became one. And that baby didn't have the words to speak, along with all the military people that find themselves at the end of their rope and can no longer, their voices are silent. And so my why is I am the voice for the voiceless. I
Yeah.
choose to lift my voice every day. And I even reframed my post traumatic stress diagnosis to I plan to show up daily because when I show up and I raise my voice, it's in honor of all those that no longer have a voice to speak. So when I feel like I can't make it, I think about that baby that no longer has a word and the mother that almost took herself out and then would have left 4 additional kids without a mom. But she saw me walking in my driveway and heard me on my Tell Yourself Tuesdays and begin to live her life again because I gave her hope. And for her and all the other people that write me and say, Brenda, I heard you, so I got help. Brenda, I heard you, so I stopped drinking. Brenda, I heard you, so I lost weight. That's my why. And that's strong enough to make it worth it every day when I get up and I just don't want to.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Because I've had a couple people say, just when I'm ready to give up, because I don't think anybody's listening to what a word I was saying. Like, for a year I was doing videos, short videos, and then I decided May of this year to start the live show. But for a whole year, I went and I was, whatever God wanted me to speak, I spoke it out, and like no one would even like it, comment, nothing. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. And then one day I was just happened to talk to somebody and like, hey, I really love what you're saying. And I'm like, well, that's great. Can you comment so I know that somebody is listening? Because it's kind of discouraging. But then you've had more people say, hey, I
Mm-hmm.
love your mission and I love what you're out to create. And that helps us continue what we're doing, because that's the whole purpose of why we're doing it,
Yeah.
and is for you, not for us. So, like, we've overcome, and I don't know about you, but I've overcome different things each day, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just when you think you've arrived, that's only the beginning. God's like,
Yeah.
forget it. There's more there that you need to learn, or more there that you need to help the next person with.
Well, one
Each,
of the things that helped me was, number one thing is I get up every morning and I ask myself one question. Brenda, do you like Brenda? Yes, I like me. So if I don't get another like, I'm good. Because if I get up every morning liking me, I'm not
yeah,
chasing likes, numbers, followers, or any of that stuff. And then
yeah,
I begin to understand that when I like me, chances are other people are going to begin to like me too. And that's when I start noticing my following changing.
yeah,
Um, I have never really uh, fought to get a lot of subscribers. So you'll see on my particular page, because I interview veterans, entrepreneurs, and authors, my numbers aren't really high yet, but I'm going to work a campaign to do that in the new year. But
yeah,
what I did do was cultivate industry people that when you come on my show, maybe there'll be somebody that will reach out to you because they are a professional that needs your support. So I
yeah,
had to reframe my ideal of what success looks like and not worry about what the crowd is doing.
yeah,
Because when you think somebody's not looking, let me tell you, if nobody else ever watches Brenda Warren, there is a mom of 4 kids that is feeding her kids now, who is living her life and taking care of her remaining children because she heard my voice. If nobody else doesn't change, I know I did the thing that I practice. It's called hope. Help one person every day. So
yeah.
every day I purposely seek out
One
someone that's
person.
on the channel, one person, and just say, what can I do to support you?
Yeah,
And that's how I've been able, because it may not always be the masses. I may never go viral. I may never have a million followers. But the impact on 4 little kids in Oregon, I know that's real.
yep. And I love that. Right. Doesn't matter the these thing, right? God, well, and I know God's at every show, and my goal for every show is to impact one. So if I, like you said, if we've impacted one, then that's all that
And think
matters.
about this. You may say, I know a lot of people, because a lot of people, especially if you want to do this, you want to know people hear you to get that validation. But I want you to think about this here. You and I connected, and then
Yes.
other people saw you on my show. So there's
Yes.
a ripple effect. You and I now have started forming a friendship where we're talking. I learned about you. I read your book. I know more about you now than ever. I've been telling people about your book. It's a ripple effect that happens. You help one person. But if you help that one person, 9 times out of 10, they're not keeping that to themselves.
No.
How many people
Exactly.
now know about you because of you and I connected? How many people now know about me because you and I connected? It's a
Yeah.
ripple effect. Maybe you and I have said something today that somebody will go back and repeat to somebody else, and then they'll repeat to somebody else, and so on and so on.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Exactly. Greetings. Oh, there we go. A new hashtag. I will help one.
I like that.
I like it. That's our new hashtag. Okay, this is the years for hashtags because Russ
Mhm.
on Russ Selfie started 1,000 thanks. Tonight, I will help one. I like that. I'm writing that down.
I'm writing it down too. I just put that. I said, "Oh, I like that." I'm gonna put that on my hashtag at the bottom there.
Okay, and Jennifer says, "Oh my goodness, love that. Hope. Help one person every day." Exactly.
You don't know.
Nope,
And you know what I also
exactly.
found? You don't need people will get caught up in the numbers, and I don't, because I realize you don't need everybody following you. You just need the right body following you.
Yes.
Because one person saw my show, I got my own television show. That didn't come from 15,000 people. That came from one person.
Yeah.
So, and then that one person that saw me gave me a television show, and now people all over the world hear my voice. Think about that. Now, people, and here, this is the funny part about it. There were people that didn't want to come on my podcast because I only had 136 viewers on my podcast. But what they didn't know is that if you came on my podcast, you didn't come on my TV show where I had millions of viewers.
See, people, be open to everything and
That's right.
attached to
You
nothing.
never know what opportunity will come. I say, do not look. Small podcasters or small YouTubers, you don't know
Yeah.
who they know. There's a young lady who I met the other day, and I had to laugh about this because she wanted to meet someone famous, and I won't say their name because I try not to name drop. And they were like, "That I said I know them," and they're like, "What?" And again, it was one of those things where they didn't want to be. And she even said, I didn't want to be on your show because you only had 136 followers. But she came on my show, and the next day she calls me back in tears. She got a $300,000 contract. Now she's been on a whole bunch of podcasts that have millions of viewers, but
Yeah.
she didn't get a $300,000 contract from them podcasts. She got it from the podcast with 136 viewers. So I tell you that to say this. There are people that watch you every day. Like the lady that says she cries, she watched. There are people you are impacting, and you impact them because you're who you are. And don't take that lightly. People resonate with you, they hear you, they feel you, and they never know who you're going to connect them with.
Yeah.
And that's
And
amazing.
I'm telling you, people, okay, so if you hear nothing from tonight, my life has been greatly impacted this year from one connection.
Mm-hmm.
That connection, I started talking to Michael Panorano at the beginning of the year. Michael led me to Jennifer Zahari. Jennifer Zahari and Christy Matusik have been really close friends. I'm about to meet them in person this weekend.
Ooh.
After talking with them on Zoom for, I don't know, I think 6 months. I think 6 to 7. Well, I don't know, Jen, when did we meet? Say March of this year, I met Jen.
Okay.
Talked to Jen for the very first time on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Jen has led me to a bunch of people, including Christy.
Mm-hmm.
And LinkedIn has been a phenomenal platform.
Mm-hmm.
That platform has made me at least over 200 friends, of which I consider actual friends, not just acquaintances, yourself being one of them. You and I connected, like it wasn't that long ago, and I feel like that we're sisters.
Mm-hmm.
We actually text each other daily. It's not just being on, sometimes daily, sometimes not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just being a LinkedIn connection. It's like real people, real connection. I was on Brenda's, Brenda and I taped her show last week. Brenda
Yes.
found out that my mom is struggling hard with my dad's death right now. So I just casually mentioned it, and Brenda says, well, I'm sorry I couldn't put it out Friday, but I was going to try. And I said, oh, okay, no problem, no pressure. I just said, I kind of wanted mom to see it because she's struggling right now. The woman hurried up, got the show ready, had it ready for Saturday morning so my mom could see the show. And it's all from the power of connections. If you allow yourself to be open to relationships, building proper relationships, not just spamming somebody. Today I got 3 things spam. Hey, do you have Cash App? I want to send you some money. Why? You didn't ask how I was. You don't know nothing about me. You didn't even know the fact that Canada doesn't even have Cash App. Blows my mind. Anyways, the whole point of what I'm just trying to tell you is connecting to people. And that's what it's all about. If I would not have, God told me in January, LinkedIn, I put LinkedIn up as a resume, thought I could get a job. That's exactly what I thought LinkedIn was for. Oh, hell no. It's a whole community of people out there just waiting to help you succeed. Waiting to help you succeed.
Yeah.
Brenda is one of those people. Jen and Christy are my other people. And I can't wait to meet more of you people. And actually, Melanie put something up about Simon. I actually had a talk with Simon. Simon is an amazing, amazing man from Ireland. If I wouldn't have connected with Melanie, I would not have connected with Simon today. And guess what, folks? I'm going to be on Simon's podcast sometime in January, all from connections and networking and just building relationships. I have no idea what's going to come out of anything. There could be more. You just never know. So be open to that. Yes. And sorry, I'm going back into the comments now that I'm off my soapbox. That is the problem. People are not open. Marcello. Is it? There we go. Exactly. I just did 2 interviews and received a major contract. That's awesome. Message me of the Pen Pact. No idea. They heard them. See? I mean, validation's nice, like you said. Validation's nice because, especially in the early stages, because someone's actually. It's not the end all and be all, but it is nice that hear the impact of what you're actually doing.
I think what I'm saying, I'm not saying that validation is not important from the external, but when I stopped putting so much pressure on myself to have the external validation and ask myself, why am I doing this in the first place? I was okay when it was those times when I wasn't here, or like you say, it's crickets.
Right.
And like you talk about connection, when we first talked about you being on the show, we were just going to talk about your book. But because we made a connection, it was clear to me that with your father's passing being so early, that if you were up to it, it was important that you talked about, because like you say, your father is your hero. Notice I didn't say was, is your hero.
He
And that
is.
was clear when we spoke. So that's why I changed the direction of the show. And then life happened. I had some things happen to me and I couldn't put it out like I said on Friday. I thought, I'll just do it next week. And we checked with you and you said, well, you wanted mom to see it. Because I consider you a friend, like you say, a sister now. Oh no, mom needs to see it. I stayed up. I came home. I was dog tired. I did that. And I was proud of myself because normally it takes a few days to get everything together. I was just like, nope, I don't care what it takes. That will be there. But mom, that's the power of connection. See, for somebody else, I've been like, that show will be there, whatever. I don't know you. But when
Yeah.
you connect with someone and it becomes more than just another face, another name, another client job, whatever, it changes our dynamics because it was important to me that we honored your father. It was important to me that mom got to see it, especially since you were clear that that was something you thought would help her feel better. So in my mind, it had to be done. And
Yeah.
that then too goes back to choices. Honoring your father was a gift to me. Honoring your mother was the next gift. And then to hear that you were happy about it, my day, my week, my year, it's made.
Well, and you have no idea how much I appreciate you putting that out. And if you didn't get a chance to watch that episode, I do have it. I did share it to my LinkedIn profile, my Facebook
Mhm.
profile, and it is on Brenda's YouTube channel. And your YouTube channel is let me just look at my note. What is your YouTube channel again?
It's Brenda Warren. But there's several Brenda Warren, so I think you have
All
to.
right. Brenda Warren. Right. Okay. Yes. Go look on Brenda. Subscribe to her YouTube channel, for the Brenda Warren YouTube channel.
Hold on a second, there.
And so we can help this lady get more subscribers as well. But she's absolutely amazing. And if you don't know her, you need to connect with her on Facebook, or LinkedIn. Sorry, not Facebook, LinkedIn. And IG. See, I don't know much about Instagram, but you are hot over on Instagram too, right?
Yeah.
So that's her space. Her space. She's taking over Instagram. So
I'm trying slowly but surely. I'm learning the tricks and stuff because I was one of those people that I wasn't really into social media. I'm not going to do this, and then I began to put out this inspirational things, the motivation Mondays, the tell you stuff Tuesdays, wellness Wednesdays, thankful Thursdays, faith it Fridays, self care Saturdays, and soul searching Sunday. And that's where I talk about tapping emotions on Sundays.
Yeah. So definitely, I've watched a couple of those daily things. They're amazing, especially when you're at work and you need some daily inspiration. Just put Brenda on, guaranteed to light your fire. Oh, wow. That's just that. I didn't have no idea that that was going to come out of my mouth, but thank you, Brenda. It obviously needed to be said. See, I believe that I just connect with somebody and I let God move the show. So that's what happens. God wanted you guys to know that you need to connect more, be open,
Mm-hmm.
and not to those Cash App people.
No, no. And
Uh,
the thing about it is, most of us are not connecting because of fear. The truth is, everybody just want to know they matter. And if you just kindness goes a long way.
mhm.
Oftentimes when I connect with people, it's not about what can you do for me. I'm always connected. I'm like, how can I support you? Because the reality is, most of us need some kind of support. But every day, when people are always about pay, 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 everything's not about pay. What I When I started doing this, I made a rule for myself. I have an 80-20 rule about how I do things. 80% of what I do for free. 20% of what I do, I get paid for. But my 20% pays very well. And it supports the 80% that I give away. So people will say, man, you're doing a lot for free. I'm like, y'all don't understand. It's a God thing. See, God has better math than anybody on this planet. And I can tell you right now that when God says, trust me, give it away, it's gone out my hand because He has never failed to supply every need I ever thought I wanted to have and then some. And that's why I work really hard to promote other people, to support other people's success. Because here's one thing that I know for sure: my light will never dim because another sister light shines. We can only shine brighter together.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. I'm so glad we connected. And you really like, I love how your show is. Like, I love the beginning, that and the intro and the outro. Like, it's just so amazing, and I can't wait because I know you have new things in the works.
Yeah, I'm working
Uh
on the new revamp for the new year. Mhm.
yes, and I just can't wait because it's so exciting.
Thank
uh
you.
it is so exciting to see others grow. I mean, and grow and evolve, and it's just, to me, that's exciting.
And you know what's the best part about for me? I'm all self-taught. I taught myself how to edit videos, how to do all this stuff, and now I'm teaching other people how to do it. And I think that's pretty amazing because sometimes people will learn stuff and then all of a sudden they got this $50,000 package. And I'm just like, look, guys, it don't take all that. I think that there's enough stress out here as women entrepreneurs as it is. And if I can support someone else in doing something, then we want to do it. But my rule about that is simply this: is if I support, I ask people, I bet them, will they pay it forward? Because there's nothing that bothers me more than for me to spend time teaching someone something, and then after they go out and they're going to charge people five, 15, $10,000 for the thing I just gave you for free. That that's not good sowing and reaping. But they
Yeah.
usually don't last long doing that. And that's one of the things I love about you. You are a giver. You really are a person that wants to support, and you are an overcomer. And so you understand the things they have. Now, look, I know we're all in business to make money, but you don't have to chase money. Money will chase you down and overtake you. If you help enough people get what they want, you will always get what you want. Learned that from Zig Ziglar. That's one of those successes that leave clues.
Exactly. When you give and think you're giving too much, keep giving. Exactly.
Absolutely. I like that. I like that.
And Melanie agrees with you. Do you know Melanie?
I don't think so.
No, I'll connect you two later.
Okay.
And definitely, yes, Carla, totally 100% agrees with you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And that's the great thing. Another great thing about connecting, building, and networking is because I was interviewed for a Business Success TV on the weekend.
Mhm.
And I've made a connection with that lady.
Okay.
And I'm also going to be on her purpose driven show as well.
Mhm.
And she says, well, how do you meet people? I said, I connect with people on LinkedIn, and I have a whole network of people.
Mhm.
So I may not do business with everybody, but if
Mhm.
somebody needs somebody, like Marcello is in the, he has his own, he's in Atlanta, and he has his own, it's a waste management company.
Mhm.
Just so happens that I have the company that I work for is based out of Georgia. So who do you
Mhm.
think I'm going to say, hey, the next time we need a quote for garbage, who I'm going to connect with, right?
Mhm.
And, so I may not personally, but
Mhm.
my network is growing. And this lady wants, so she asked me how I get my referrals. And I said, well, who do you want to talk to?
Mhm. Mhm.
So mentally, I'm going through the list. Hey, who wants to be on TV? Who do I think it would be a good fit for her shows?
Yep.
So I haven't I have a list of people I'm going to give her, but
Mhm.
I need to connect with my people first and say, hey, is this something that you want before I give your name away to somebody else? And you really have no idea as you're talking and when you're connecting. I talked to two other amazing veterans within the last week, but two of them are going to be on my show in January. One
Mhm.
is a retired combat officer, and the other one I forget what his rank was, but he had been in the military for 20 years. And amazing guys. He now has his own comrade mission thing. So because he's always constantly giving things away, he needs money for his nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So him and I are collaborating, and he doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to offer my service to try and raise money for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if God gave you the platform, why don't you use it? You know, to help others. So that's the power of connecting. Helps you. You have no idea how that's going to pay you forward. Absolutely no idea how that's going to pay you forward. So just connect with people anyways. It doesn't matter if anything monetarily comes out of it right away. You're building that connection for future stuff, you know.
And I'm also on Facebook, and that's one of the things I said too. Like today, I used my platform to promote Donovan West. Donovan West is heading to Ghana tomorrow to help kids with an organization called FIRE. And it is what's it called? Let me tell you what it is, because I did this here. It says FIRE is to free inspiration reaching everyone. FIRE is a nonprofit organization, and we were trying to get more money for Donovan in it, because people they're going to Ghana. They had all these expenses already, and then they're being told they have to pay all this money for COVID testing and all this other stuff. So the team leaves tomorrow at 7 a.m. for this. They've shipped everything over there. It's a big event. We're going to be live streaming from there next week, and we did pass the people about putting the Cash App, and that's when I found out today that Canada didn't have Cash App, because I have a whole Canadian contingent that wanted to support, but there's no Cash App. So we spent the day trying to find out how they could send money to Donovan, but those guys showed up, and that's the power of networking, because I met them, and I was able to give out his Cash App, and people sent money, and that got them guys what they needed. So I'm very proud that with 130, again, I keep saying $136 because I'm proud of every one of them, because I didn't pay for them. Those are people that actually follow me, that actually support the show, and will support the things that I do. And you cannot ask for more than that.
No. And Melody definitely would love to connect with you.
Would like that, absolutely.
Yeah, really. Where are you again, Carla? I forget where Carla.
On IG, I'm Brenda the Soulutionist. That's Soul, SOULUTIONIST. Brenda the Soulutionist. I didn't see a way to type in the chat for that. On Facebook, it's Brenda Warren, and on Twitter, it's Brenda the Soulutionist also. And then I don't do a lot on Twitter though, but
it's actually all that information is in the show notes. I did put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and then on what does it say? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is Brenda Warren. My picture's there.
I don't know if we're friends on Facebook. I'm gonna have to go check it out after.
And if any of you guys want to support Donovan, it's $, it's a $, Donovan West, DONAVAN, capital WEST, Donovan West. They are leaving out tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Every little bit helps, and every big bit helps.
Yes, exactly. The more the merrier.
The more the merrier. And that's the thing, here's the thing about it. When I put it out, I just put it out to a few people and thought, you know how good it felt when people that I didn't even know shared that information, and they began, and I asked everybody that if you help Donovan and them, how if you have Cash App, those of you that may have it, there's a 4. What is it for? I asked them to put hashtag support the vision, and they started coming in. And we're going to do a giveaway. So everybody that gave, if they DM me and tell me they gave, they get put in for a prize giveaway, and they'll be shouted out on my show, Talk to Me, when we do the live from Ghana. So I'm starting to understand the power of this platform that we have, Dorothy, because a lot of times we don't realize that our voice does matter, and that it holds weight and it carries. And when we get that, that's why it's important to me to only have people on my show that are positive. I refuse to put negativity out into the airwaves.
Exactly.
Negative, and I refuse to do it. I live in an attitude of gratitude, so I look for like-minded people that want to promote positivity that are not going to get into the narrative of bickering and fighting and divisiveness. I'm like, I'm the person that says I want to be able to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. I don't have to believe everything you believe, but I don't have to be nasty about it. I don't have to pass judgment or make you feel less than because we don't have the same views. What I
Right.
can do is love you with the love of Christ. And like I say, agree to disagree without being disagreeable.
Absolutely. I love that. We all have opinions. We should be able to be adult enough and allow each other to give freely and where they're at, love them where they're at, and you don't doesn't have to agree with them and everything. And it's taken me quite a while to figure that out, by the way. That was not an overnight thing because I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. And my coach is like, but Dorothy,
Mhm.
we're living in a world of non-judgment and loving people where they're at. And
Mhm.
yes, I have Coach Jen's voice inside my head
Mhm.
24/7.
There's power in telling people where they are because that's how you can be. What is it? What did you say about being attached and not being attached to anything that you said?
Open to everything and attached to nothing.
Because if you're not attached to it, it doesn't hurt you if the view's not the same as yours. And the way I was
Yes.
taught about that is you have to learn to be dead to certain things because dead men don't feel pain.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
You come from a whole different level. You realize that it's really not that crucial. And then the other thing that I think I shared it with you is about when I did the ruler test. When I work with my clients, I give everybody a 12-inch ruler because I love this when I first found this out. And I learned this at one of the darkest times in my life. I would say this is my final overcoming thing. Was I took a 12-inch ruler and I taped off 1 inch. Now that 1 inch that I taped off at the rim, 1 inch represents my life from birth to death.
Yeah.
And then the remaining 11 inches and beyond represents eternity. Okay.
Yeah.
So when something bad or something crazy happens in view of eternity, does it really matter? Because that is but a blip in my existence. I'm good.
I love that. That's a great reminder because I've seen that. I've seen that on Facebook and other social media things too. But it's so true. You know, you think it's the end of the world if somebody
Mhm.
leaves you or if this something bad happens, but that's just a short blip on our whole span. You know, if somebody leaves your life, it's because they were meant to.
And now
It's
you
because
say that.
yeah, and I mean, it may suck in the moment, but
Mhm.
God has bigger and better things for you,
Yeah.
and that's why yeah. Oh, and if you need a matchmaker, I connected with a match. I connected with a matchmaker. She's actually from Toronto, Ontario, and
Mhm.
it's her platform is better. I was talking to her today, and I met my husband on Zeus
Mhm.
4.5 years ago, and so I said, well, how does your platform compare? And she went on about it. So if anybody needs a matchmaker, I have a matchmaker in my network now, so I can gladly connect you. um
I know
I
love match, but I believe he's probably out there watching me right now. He could be watching me on your show. You never
you're
know.
yes, sorry, I have somebody saying, oh, they're at my front door and they're gonna have to wait. I have vegetables for the homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mind talking for 1 minute while I go give her those vegetables? And
Okay.
uh, hold
Okay.
on.
So I will talk to y'all about tap in and why. When Dorothy and I talked about this, why this is important. When I first started writing tap in, I wrote it because I needed to tap into my own life. I was not happy with where I was, and I said, "How am I going to get off this couch?" And the first thing I did was I knew I had to change the way I viewed my situation because I really was telling myself that it wasn't going to get better than this. And that's a lie. It really could get better than this, and it did get better than this. And that's when I came up with my system of how to transform your mind by doing a soul search. Sometimes we're looking all externally to find out what it is that we need to feel better, to look better, to be better. when really it's an inside job. Because if you can look inside and tap into your inner voice, you'll know what it is that you really, really believe. And then you can also ask yourself, what is it that you really desire? Because if you believe that you can't lose weight, you're right. And if you believe that you can lose weight, you're right. It's whatever you tell yourself that matters. Your words to yourself matter more than the words to anybody externally. And we often listen to those automatic negative thoughts in our head that tells us that we can't, we won't, we shan't. But what I would encourage each of you all to do is to tell yourself something positive. Only tell yourself the things that you want in life because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference.
I wish I would have heard all of that. I'll have to go with my own replay.
There you go. There you
But
go.
it looks like you have a lot. You have a lot of positive comments here. Great analogy. Great perspective. There's a purpose for everything, and there is light inside of the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. Wow. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that because I was just giving vegetables to the homeless while you were doing that. So
You see what this is though? That's the part about what I love about what we do. Real life happens. And sometimes you have to take a break. And on my on my motivation Monday today, I talked about the fact it's National Microwave Day. National Microwave Oven Day specifically. And you know, when the microwave first came out, it was all about speedy, quick meals, and everybody was all ready to make their food really fast. And then we soon found out that fast is not always better because depending on how you did that, your food could come out rubbery, burnt, or worse. And so then people had to learn that microwaves didn't have to be a replacement, but could be a supplement to a stove. So you have to know when to speed up and when to slow down. So today I'm encouraging everybody to take it slow, take a step back, relax, and realize things won't always go as planned. And faster doesn't mean better. But if you just take a break, slow it down a little bit, realize life happens, and enjoy and live in the moment.
I love that. Love that. As a recovering workaholic, I totally love that. No, seriously. When I was when I was in my abusive relationship, I would work. I would work full time.
Mhm,
Sometimes I'd work part time, and then I'd have a side hustle. And on the side hustle, I would make sure I was in Oshawa for meetings because I didn't want to be at home.
mhm,
So then I just learned that life that it was like I would get 4 hours sleep a night and try and function on that, and I obviously couldn't for too long. Hit a
right.
wall, and now I have try and no, not try. I have more fun. I
Mhm,
take the most of the weekends for my family.
mhm.
I work in the morning a little bit, but I love that. Slow down. Back in 1983, her
Oh
first microwave.
yes, I probably have the same one you have.
I had it was Panasonic, those big,
Mhm.
ugly
Big. Oh
ones,
yeah.
the big
Mhm,
ones. That was our
mhm.
very first microwave growing up as a kid.
Yeah. I love
Uh,
my microwave now, but I still there's nothing like taking your time and fixing the meal low and slow on the stove.
mm-hmm,
Mhm. It tastes better.
exactly. It does. I usually use mine for either defrosting or just heating things up
Mhm.
because I don't cook. Okay, so my cousin's stove fried one year. It was my dad's cousin, and so she had this turkey. It was Thanksgiving, so she decided that she was still going to cook this turkey for everybody. So she put it. She actually cooked it in the microwave.
Wow. Mm.
I can't. I don't think it was the best turkey dinner we ever had, but
I can imagine.
that was so long ago. I don't know what made me think of that, but yeah, that was definitely when I was way younger than what I
Mhm.
am now.
Mhm.
Oh, well. Oh my gosh. This has been an amazing evening. And I just want to thank our amazing listeners. We have a lot of comments in here, and definitely in the show notes is all of Brenda's social media outlets. I put that in there. Don't forget to
Mhm.
get her a copy of her book on Amazon. I definitely am going to search. I'm going to go put Instagram on this phone so it works on here. I just started getting the hang of it,
Yeah,
and then I needed a new
if they
phone.
click on my Linktree link, if you put it in your show notes, the Linktree link will take you right to a
Yes.
link that will take you right to the book on Amazon. You know how sometimes the algorithms and stuff different moves, but that will take you
Right.
directly to it.
So definitely get a copy of her book and definitely tap in to Brenda on
Mhm.
her daily inspiration, because you don't want to miss that, and connect with Brenda for your tap in needs. I love that. Tap in. And don't forget to use the hashtag I will help one.
Yeah,
I
that's
will
cool. I
help
like
one.
that.
That's our new hashtag for the year.
Hmm.
Let's get a thousand of those by the end of the year if we can.
That would
A
be cool.
thousand that a thousand people with that hashtag, that would be
Mhm.
amazing. That would be amazing. So Brenda, any last thoughts for our guest before we wrap the show up?
I would just simply say, don't apologize for living your best life. And remember, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. Choose wisely.
I love that, and thanks, Melanie. And I will connect you to. I'll send you a inner chat in LinkedIn.
Ooh, yeah.
Um, but see, there we go. You just never know how who
You
or
never
what
know.
we're gonna connect.
Hmm.
And very powerful show today. And again, thank you, Brenda, for being here. Um, totally blessed me, and I had no idea that half of this was going to come out tonight. So, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
awesome. Thank you. And with that, have a great evening, folks, and we will see you again next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have an amazing evening.